are no words to describe really how important this movement is.
We definitely have a lot of optimism, a lot of hope, and a lot of power, I think, in relaying this message to our congresspeople.
What you're going to see is, for the first time in a very long time, a generation stand up and declare a new direction for the country and win.
I think we're just going to blow them away.
PowerShift is a conference, I guess they call it a convergence of youth from across the country come to talk and discuss and plan for how we're going to take on the challenge of global warming and climate change.
17 of us went. That's like 1% of our student body. That's huge. And it was the biggest contingency of Texas schools that was there. So it was pretty impressive.
I remember being overwhelmed. I didn't know quite what to expect. You see this big building that's modern architecture, and then bam. Like a lot of people are saying, there are a lot of young people milling about, signs everywhere, so many people with dreadlocks and funky hair and funky clothes. It was great. I liked it a lot.
There are about 12,000 youth from across the country that came together for this weekend in DC, and there were workshops and training sessions and speakers and concerts and hangout time.
Like, I couldn't believe there were that many people there. They just all wanted to do the same thing. They were all so motivated, and like, we just got together and learned how to actually make a difference in something.
One of my favorite points in the weekend was Saturday night after the Roots played.
I feel like there were probably about 9,000 people there from the conference, and afterwards we were all marching out together. Everybody was stoked from listening to the Roots, and for whatever reason people just kind of started yelling. And not really just yelling, but kind of yelling with a purpose, kind of communicating just through loud noises.
So all of these people poured out onto the streets, started blocking traffic, which probably was not the most strategic of all, moves, but it was empowering and exciting.
It sort of became this interesting game where people stood in the streets and made the cars wait. And on some level, it was kind of troubling because it seemed very adolescent and silly that we were stopping cars. There was no purpose behind it, and that's something we're all very weary of with this movement, is to make sure that we have a purpose. But at the same time, it was very cool because we were all understanding that we could do something, that we could stop traffic, that if we worked together, we could make this chain of people and really accomplish anything.
What's going on?
And we're gonna meet our congressman, maybe. And it's snowing!
It snowed that day. I think everyone who asked will tell you, it snowed. And it didn't just, sprinkle. It, owned everybody.
I've got socks on my hands. I don't have gloves, and this one's kind of wet.
On that same vein, it's neat to see how savvy activists are becoming nowadays, and how youth are really taking perhaps their anger and their frustration, but really finding ways to channel it in a very productive and respectful manner.
Getting a chance to speak our mind and to be there in force, telling them that a new mindset, a new generation, a new something is there, and calling for change.
I knew that I couldn't necessarily change their mind on the issues, but I knew that I was making an impact.
We had 40 people talking to these representative aides, and they were sweating bullets. They realized that we were serious, and you could see that they actually were going to go talk to their representatives.
It showed that it's not just this environmental movement isn't all about the hippies hugging trees. It's about knowledgeable students care about, future generations and just people's health in general.
It just gave them a little taste of, I think, what is to come.
PowerShift was fantastic. One of the biggest environmental lobbying movements I've ever done. It was amazing.
It changed what I think I would like to do for my career. So I'll have a more environmentally centered career.
The conference addressed both aspects of this emerging worldview of cooperation, ecological sustainability, some sort of spiritual mindfulness, and social justice. And by accomplishing all those things, we left not only thinking like, wow, this is possible, but also thinking, wow, we can make this happen.
We might need a license to be on campus now because we're so powerful.
We're coming down to the ground. There's no better place to go. We got snow upon the mountains. We got rivers down below. We're coming down to the ground. We hear the birds sing in the trees, and the land will be looked after.